Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tony with Urban Girl Scout Media, coming to you today to do the delayed poll show. Um, I was sick for a few weeks, I lost my voice, and then the past few days trying to catch up on some things, and there's been other stuff going on. So I woke up early today. I am out here on the patio. It's a little cold. It's reading about 65 degrees on the thermostat, so let's go ahead and get this rolling. So, the premise of the show today, we're going to basically, I got about 20, I think it's 20 here on the screen, questions that I posted on Twitter, things like that. And I think I have 5 or 6 questions that I pulled, stuff that you guys had asked me. So, there's a lot more out there. And if you check the Twitter page or the Facebook page, there's obviously going to be more stuff all the time. In a perfect world, we get to do this more often. So, I'm bundled up. Let's get ready to go. You're going to hear me kind of going down here. I moved everything onto the screen. So the first, and I'll give you guys my responses as well to this. So the first question was, best arcade sports game, and the options were NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, NFL Streets, NBA Streets. NBA Jam won with 36% of the vote. NFL Streets and Blitz was tied at 27. Or I'm sorry, NBA Street and Blitz was tied at 27, and then NFL Streets was at 9. I agree, guys. NBA Jam. I think the tournament edition is better than the original edition. Just my opinion. Are you annoyed by poor public restroom manners at your workplace? So we had 3 options. Yeah, that shit is nasty. Nope, never noticed. And then I leave those messes. It was a 50-50 tie between yeah, that shit is nasty and nope, never noticed. If you follow the channel, you know my position. Bad manners are not excusable. While we're talking about the bathroom, courtesy flush, do you do it? We had 4 options. Every time, never let it stink. I try to time my drops to it, and I can't poop in public. Every time and can't poop in public, tied at 42% each. I don't really do it. I mean, if it calls for it, I will, but... So let's see what else we got. Do people who use their name and birth year as a license plate annoy you? It was a yes or no question. We had 38% yes, 62% no. I'm going to say yes. It incredibly annoys me. I do not care what your name is. I do not care when you were born. This is a good one. A bigger surprise rift in a previously considered solid sports organization. So it was going to be Kawhi Leonard and San Antonio Spurs or Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots. This was a 50-50 tie. Absolutely interesting stories on both ends. And I actually think that the Spurs are the bigger surprise because I think Kawhi is a different type of superstar. So he wouldn't normally be the guy you'd think would get into that situation. Brady, Belichick, I mean, it's been going on for so long that you'd almost expect this to be happening at this point. Does watching the news depress you? We had very much don't watch the news and love what I see. 54% said yes, very much. I agree. Absolutely depresses me to watch the news. Next is public speaking. I can do it. I hate it. Turds that distract me upset me. Nope, never gnaw. 50% said hate it. And then 33% said I can do it. So, I do it a lot at work, and it's not my favorite thing to do. It's a little upsetting when people don't respect your time up there because they would hate it to happen to them. Sorry, still getting over that cold. But that's just my opinion. It is what it is. It was a good one. Best trilogy, and it has to be the original trilogy for these movies. So I had the original Star Wars, the first 3 Lord of the Rings, the first 3 Jurassic Parks, and if there was an other that people wanted to vote in, the first 3 Jurassic Parks took it down with 50%. The other ones all tied at about 17% or so. I gotta say Star Wars because of what they accomplished, how long ago, and it's still a great trilogy, but Lord of the Rings would probably be my number 2. Jurassic Park surprised me that it won that one. So this is one that I saw online and I thought was a fun one. Favorite food of the 4 groups we have here. Sushi, pasta, pizza, ice cream. Pizza won, going away 50%. I like sushi. But yeah, pizza's really good. While we're on the food subject, best of the following 3 cheap beers. We got Coors, we got Bud Light, we got Red Stripe. Those are my three favorite. Some people throw in Miller Lite or, other ones. Got the occasional Zima drinker. Uh, Bud Light took it away, 45%. I really don't care how this one turns out because I drink all three of them. You got to mix it up a little bit. This was the most lopsided of the questions we're going to put on here. Better handheld system, Game Boy or Game Gear? I'm going to stop before I answer this. I'm going to tell you right now, I personally believe it's Game Gear, and here's why. Game Boy has the titles. I get that. Game Gear had the color. I feel like Game Gear is a little bit cooler. Sega always had kind of that outlier feel, that cool feel. So I voted Game Gear on this, but Game Boy won 93%. I don't think there's a wrong answer, but I would vote Game Gear if it was me. This is one of my favorite ones next. Best childhood sport movie. We got Sandlot, Rookie of the Year, or Little Giants. If you follow my Twitter account, you'll see that I use Spike Don't Play With Girls a lot. I love that. I love Little Giants. But Sandlot won 58%. I agree. Probably the best of the three. But Rookie of the Year was really good. And Little Giants, I think that's one of those movies you need to watch growing up. I didn't include Mighty Ducks. And there's a really good reason. Just didn't want to put Mighty Ducks against Sandlot and Rookie of the Year. I mean, that's too much competition. And Mighty Ducks kind of had like 2 or 3 decent movies. These only had one. So I wanted like one single movie. That was my opinion. Which summer water activity do you prefer? Kayaking, swimming, or fishing? Swimming took it away by 50%. I don't really care to fish. Kayaking is kind of my favorite of the three, but swimming's also very fun. Which TV show do you prefer, The Office or Parks and Rec? I'm an Office man through and through, but I think Parks and Rec is just amazing. I did vote for The Office, and my vote would be for The Office. The Office lost 45 to 55%. For all our video game fans, here's one for you. Better fighting series. So I just took the 3 that have meant the most to me, and there's probably some other great ones that I didn't bring up, but Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. Mortal Kombat took it away, 53%. I agree. Tekken beat Street Fighter. I don't know if I agree with that. I think there's more. I'm trying to think of the right word here. From popularity, in my opinion, with Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, things like that. So that was just my take on it. Does it annoy you when you see the same commercial 2 of 3 times in the same commercial 2 or 3 times in that block? 92% said yes. So this one was just short of the Game Boy, Game Gear one in terms of the most lopsided, but 92% of you said yes, absolutely. Better AMC spin-off TV show. This was a good one. Fear the Walking Dead or Better Call Saul. I went Better Call Saul. That's what you guys voted. It was 71 to 29. Good call there. Another Hollywood-related one. Is the movie Reign of Fire with Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale underrated in terms of dragon and or apocalypse-style movies? That's a mouthful, but I wanted to get that out because I was watching it one night and it kind of got me thinking. Yes, love the movie. No, it's trash. Never saw the flick. It was a tie between yes, love the movie, and never saw the flick at 36%. I personally love the movie, and I think that it's wildly underrated for the time. You look at the actors in it, I didn't even bring up Gerard Butler. So, good movie. Are white people too obsessed with the weather? As a white person, I find myself way too obsessed with the weather, and I don't even feel like I spend that much time talking about it. I try to plan for all conditions. I mean, I'll pack a coat in June. You never know what you're going to get. Yes, yes they are. Can't be too concerned. Never noticed. Tied between yes, yes they are, and never noticed. Better NBA playoff coverage this year. ESPN or TNT? I'll always vote TNT. Nothing against ESPN, but I just think Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq are too good to be ignored. And Ernie does a great job. I mean, Ernie does an amazing job with that group. So TNT won 54%. So that is it for the Twitter polls. So looks like I got a handful of questions here that I'm going to answer for you guys. Let's start it up. Best hot beverage. Well, I like coffee. Oh, that's good. A good dark roast with a little chocolate caramel creamer, it just sets me off. It just gets me going. It tickles my pickle, and I don't even require a nickel. That's the best way to look at it. How did I come up with the name Urban Girl Scout Media? This is a good one. So think back about 7, 8 years. Online video gaming is really big. There's Magic the Gathering Workstation, and then there's online poker. So I was in all three of those in some capacity. I played online poker, and I wasn't by any means raking in great money, but sometimes you need a fake name or a surname or username or whatever. And then same thing with the video gaming and the Magic the Gathering Workstation. I just had a series of names. I used Urban Girl Scout, LeBron Nutrider, Bananas in Pajamas, Ducky T. What else? I guess that was 4, and I went like that. And there was just a few others. So Urban Girl Scout was always just something I thought was funny. I don't know exactly how I came up with it. It was just one of those, I wanted to come up with like 4 or 5 really weird kind of funny names, and that's what it came up with. So I've had it kind of in my repertoire, I guess, since then. I mean, there's other fun names. I used to go by like Cheese Nipple and Psychedelic Orgasms. The current band name that I'm using for all music for the channel is Tabula Rasa. So, I mean, I just like making up goofy names. That's all it is. Didn't you used to work at a card store? Yes. Yes, I did. It's not my story to tell. What I will say is I made a decision based on some things that I saw, based on some comments that were made, and based on some attitudes that I observed, that I decided I wanted to work on the channel. I wanted to enjoy Magic. I wanted to enjoy interacting with the community, and I didn't want to be taken advantage of anymore. So there is definitely 3 sides to every story. Yours, mine, and the truth, right? That's just the way it goes. There were certain things going on that in the real world are illegal. And in my opinion, if we're aware and we're not going to stop, then the best thing to do is to step away. So that's what it came down to. I have no ill will. I'm not salty. I'm very proud of what I did in a 3-4 month time frame. I learned a lot, got some really good ideas on kind of what I wanted to do moving forward with just a lot of different things, not just in terms of working in a card store. It was a good experience, and the people I worked with were all really great people. So, like I said, no ill will, but I think that my business model and what I wanted to have my brand, I guess is what we'll call it, what I wanted to have it as didn't line up necessarily with what was going on at that card store. And for the record, and this is something I just want to express. There is not another store within 35 miles that has a good reputation. There's one store and has a horrible reputation. There's no one else within about 30-35 miles. It was ours, the area was ours for the taking. There's a lot of things that made it very difficult to walk away, that I think if you were looking at it from a business standpoint, you'd say, why would you walk away? The severity of those issues I just mentioned is what caused it. Like I said, no ill will. What do we got next? What's up with the geese? All right, guys. I gotta take a breath here. I hate geese. 5-6 years ago, I started noticing that they're, especially when you live in the city, they're very aggressive, undeservedly entitled. Is that the way I want to phrase that? I don't know. It's early. It's still my first cup of coffee. And they have rules that protect geese. And I get that. We got to have something. So I can't physically hurt them. I get that. Maybe startle them a little bit. The occasional Nerf gun won't do any harm. And I think that's fine. But honestly, it's just something kind of fun to do. And I just really don't like them. So we're out here kind of on the outskirts of town. They're a little more I don't want to say docile because it makes me sound like I'm picking on the weaker ones, but we leave the kids out of it. The dog and I love to just kind of mess with them. Currently, the war is waging. Send me what you guys have. It's just all for good and fun. I don't want anybody coming at me with, oh, you're hurting these animals. I don't care. We're not hurting them. We're not disturbing their children. We're not doing anything inappropriate. We're not doing anything that people wouldn't love to do. So it's just that we're doing it. What's the point of the channel? Place to unleash the madness. And then the last question. So what is next for the channel? We're going on about 5-6 months now. That's a fair question. So I got a few things here. We do have the video series affectionately titled Lost right now. I just put up the first one, I think, last weekend. It's not high quality. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's Hollywood quality. It is a just fun little pet project. I've been working on taking photos of these toys in real world situations and kind of working on the story. And now I'm working on the music aspect of it, and we're just going to see what we can do. It's just for fun. Something else we're getting ready to do, and I'm hoping to kick off relatively soon this summer, is an interview series where we're going to try and find people from the community, real people, not just friends. I'm talking about, one of the things I thought about was a police officer, or maybe someone involved in the church, someone involved with school. People within the community who have genuine opinions, genuine things to add. This isn't just a joke channel. There are times where we can actually do some good. For some of my friends, I haven't really talked to all of them about it, but I'm going to open up for had to check how I worded that. A Magic the Gathering Urban Girl Scout Media Invitational Tournament. We do have a Urban Girl Scout Media trophy that I made. It is complete garbage. It took me less than $2 or $3 to make. And it's just kind of something fun to do with the guys. There'll be more on that later on. Obviously, the war on the geese, it's not going anywhere. I've already stated that. And then something I'm excited for is going to be deck tech. I'm a huge fan of kitchen table magic. I think that's where everybody starts, and I think that's where a lot of players continue it, is just playing with friends in a casual environment. So that's what I'm going to try and do, is just give you guys some ideas for decks. On top of that, we're just going to do the usual Scoutcast stuff, random videos, video game reviews. I do have the NBA Jam series. I think I'm 7 or 8 games in, and I'm working on Dead Island for PlayStation 3. Just all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping that this summer proves to be a very video-heavy summer. And then the last question was, what else is on your mind? Not much, guys. Pretty straightforward on the channel here. What I will say is, if you like what you see, do me a favor. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Just do something. 7 billion people on the planet. Probably close to half of that are posting crap on YouTube and Facebook and all these other sites. So it's hard to kind of get your content out there. If you like what you see, just try and help to support the channel. It's free. It's just a few clicks or a few thumb presses. Nothing major. If you have suggestions, tips, ideas, if you know someone that would like to be interviewed, anything like that, feel free to reach out to us through any of the social medias. You can also reach out at urbangirlscoutmedia@yahoo.com. That is a registered email address. Got it. Otherwise, guys, I don't really have much else to say. This was a blast. I do have one more thing to say. There was a ton of questions I couldn't include, whether it's because of the results were a little, I didn't get enough people to give fair results, or maybe some of the questions or things just weren't really what I wanted to do for the first video, really appropriate. There will be more of these, so keep them coming. I definitely enjoy it, and Stump the Scout, whatever you want to call it, let's just have some fun. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Like I said, I think we're going on about 6 months of this crap now, so here's to another 6 months and more.